friends, welcome to our educational channel of Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Myself, Swati Jayant Kokate, is going to teach you or continue history lesson number 1, tracing changes through 1,000 years. So, till now we have seen that how there were social, political or regional changes and how the empires went on growing, or how there was rule, or what we can say emergence of new empires, new regions in the last few thousand years. What were the changes in these things? Also we have seen new social, political, what were the differences, how there were changes in these things also. Now in this chapter we are going to learn or study languages and region. Here last time we have seen that by poet Amir Khusrau, how he found in India there was diversity, many languages were spoken in different society or different areas of India. When he came from Afghanistan and he was passing from one place to another, or he was traveling, he found that there were many languages spoken. We have already studied in the last lecture. Now here we are going to see by 700 many religions already possessed distinct geographical dimensions and their own languages and cultural characteristics. Okay, means by 700 many regions were there already, distinct geographical dimensions were there and their own languages and their cultural characteristics. You will learn more about this in again chapter 9. They were also associated with specific ruling dynasties. Fine. They were associated with again a specific ruling dynasty or kings. There were there was considerable conflict between these states. Occasionally dynasties like the Cholas, Khaljis, Tughlaqs and Mughals were able to build an empire that was pan-regional, spanning diverse regions. Means now suppose let me tell you that what is pan-regional. Now in one region these Mughals have formed their empire. Again in second there may be difference in what we call different region, but again they are following the same rules and regulations, that is called as pan-regional, spanning diverse regions. Not at all these empires were equally stable or successful. Fine. Means many times there were changes in these things also. So when the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, see many times it happens that one wins, the other loses. Like this Mughal Empire, the strength or their empire or their region went on declining in the 18th century. This led to the re-emergence of regional states. But years of imperial pan-regional rule has altered the character of this region. Across most of the subcontinent, the regions were left with the legacies of big and small states that ruled over them. This was apparent in the emergence of many distinct and shared traditions in the reigns of governments. The management of the economy elicited cultures, languages through the 1,000 years between 700 to 750. These characters were of different regions, did not grow in isolation. Okay, they felt that this impact of large pan-regional forces of integration were quite losing their distinctiveness. Like this, now we are going to again move towards our subtopic old and new religions. Yes, religion, the word which we hear nowadays. What is religion? Where was the religion from started, means how it came into existence, religions and all. Here what is old and new religions? The 1,000 years of history that we are exploring witnessed major developments in religious traditions. Means it is a history and it is witnessing major developments in religious traditions. People's belief in divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. Collective belief in a supernatural agency. Religion was often closely connected with the social and economic organization of local communities. As the social worlds of these groups altered, so too did their beliefs. Means new regions were formed, religion was formed, new traditions were there, and people started to believe in divine. It was during this period that important changes occurred in what we call Hinduism today. These included the worship of new deities. What are deities? Deities are the idols of God and goddesses. The construction of temples by royalty and the growing importance of Brahmanas, the priests, as dominant groups in the society. As the Brahmanas and the priests, these were knowing they were told to offer pujas and they were knowing the things, so their dominancy in the society was increasing day by day. Their knowledge of Sanskrit text earned the Brahmanas a lot of respect in the society. So, as I have told you, the Sanskrit language, this language was known only by Brahmins and not other people. So, their importance in the society went on increasing. As the importance increased, their dominancy, their positions was also consolidated by the support of their patrons, by the new rulers searching for their prestige. Means as the patrons went on supporting them, they started their dominancy in the societies. Why? Can you tell me? Yes, because they were not knowing, because other people, they were not knowing the Sanskrit text or Sanskrit language, and it was told that these pujas and all, it was to be offered in that mantras and all, whatever things were there, they used to offer it to the goddess or gods in their Sanskrit language. Also, one of the major important development for the emergence of these ideas of bhakti was loving personal deity that devotees would search without the aid of priests or elaborate rituals. You will be learning about this in the other traditions, that is in chapter 8. Afterwards you will learn it. One of the major developments was, that is idea of bhakti, means it is a personal deity or loving devotees would reach without the aid of priests and elaborate their rituals. Fine. This was also the period, we can say this was the period when new religions appeared in subcontinents. So, as per the gods, as per the deities, as per the goddesses, all the things were again changing day by day. New religions appeared in the subcontinents. Merchants and migrants first brought the teachings of Holy Quran to India in 7th century. So, see here again, Holy Quran was brought in 7th century. So, Muslim regards the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereignty of the one God, that is Allah, who loves mercy and beauty, embraces all those who believe in Him without regards to social background. Means again here they were not they were not again putting the point that it should be of social background. They were only accepting the sovereignty of the one God, that is Allah. Again, many rulers were patrons of Islam and ulama, learned theologian and jurists. And like Hinduism, Islam was interpreted in a variety of ways by its followers. There were Muslims divided into two parts, you can say, like how Jains are divided into parts, like same way the Muslims were also divided. There were Shia Muslims who believed that the Prophet's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community, and the Sunni Muslims who accepted the authority of the early leaders, that is Khalifas of the community, and they succeeded in Khalifas. There were other important differences between the various schools of laws, Hanafi and Shafis. Mainly this was found in India, and the theology of the mystics traditions. So here we have seen that how there was difference, and or the old and new religions started emerging. We are going to now the subtopic thinking about time and historical periods. Fine. What do you think thinking about time and historical periods? When I tell you time, you will just think of time can be measured in hours, days or years or clock or a calendar. Fine. But historians do not see time just as passing of hours, days or years, as a clock or a calendar. Time also reflects changes in, so they find that time is reflecting changes in social and economic organizations, in the persistence and transformation of ideas and beliefs. So what here they want to tell that time is they reflect changes in social and economic organizations, like the persistence and transformation of ideas and their beliefs. The study of time is made somewhere or somewhat easier by dividing the past into large segments, periods that possess or they share these characteristics. What happened in the middle of the 19th century? British historians divided the history into three periods, that is Hindus, like Muslims and British. But many of the historians, they don't follow these three periods. Why? Because were there only Hindus, were there only Muslims, were there only Britishers, like these only period was there or what? No. So by this 1000 years, many of the other religions or other societies were also there in the past thousands of years. So this division was based on the idea that the religion or the rulers was the only important historical change. So many of the historians, they don't follow this, and that there were no other significant developments in this economy, society or culture. Such a division also ignored the rich diversity of subcontinent. So in the middle of this 19th century, historians divided history into three parts, three periods, that is Hindu, Muslim and British. Understood? This division was based on the idea of what? Yeah, idea of religion of rulers, and that there were no other significant developments or changes in the economy, society and culture. Such a division also ignored rich and diversity of subcontinents. So few historians, as I told you, only few historians followed this periodization today. Most look to economic and social factors to characterize the major elements of different movements of the past. The histories you read last year included a wide range of early societies, hunterers, gatherers, early farmers, people living in town, and villages and early empires and kingdoms. The histories you will be studying this year are often describing about the medieval period. As I told you, you will find out more about the spread of peasant societies, the rise of regional and imperial state informations, sometimes at the cost of pastoral and forest people, the development of Hinduism and Islam as major religion, and the arrival of European trading companies. So, as we have seen that the histories we have read included a vast or wide range of early societies like the hunters, gatherers and all early farmers, people and all. So, these only three parts, that is whatever we have seen was not included. The historians you will be studying is of medieval. You will find out more about spread of peasant societies also here, and the rise of regional and imperial state formations, sometimes at the cost of pastoral and forest people. The development of Hinduism and Islam was the major impact or major religions at this arrival of European trading companies. These 1000 years of, now we are going to study again these 1000 years of Indian history witnessed considerable change. After all, the 16th and 18th century were quite different from the 8th and the 11th, obviously. Therefore, describing the entire period as one historical unit is not without its problems. Moreover, the medieval period is often contrasted with modern period. Modernity carries with it a sense of material progress and intellectual advancement. This seems to suggest that the medieval period was lacking in any changes whatsoever. But of course, we know this was not the case. During these 1000 years, the society of the subcontinents, during these 1000 years, the societies of the subcontinent were transformed often, and economies in several regions reached the level of prosperity. Here we can see that during these 1000 years, the society of the subcontinent were transformed often, and economies in several regions reached a level of prosperity that attracted the interest of European trading companies. As you read this book, look out for the signs of changes and the historical process at work. So, what happened? The societies and the subcontinents were transformed often, and economies in the several regions reached to the level of prosperity, and because of this prosperity or these things, these attracted the European trading companies. Those people came to India to trade. So, you can, as you read this book, you have to find out the signs of changes and the historical processes at work. Also, whenever you can try to compare what you read in this book with what you read last year, look out for the changes and continuities wherever you can, and look at the world around you to see what else changes had remained the same. Let us go to this recall. Let's recall. Suppose, imagine you are a historian. Choose one of the themes mentioned in the chapter, such as economic, social and political history, and discuss why you think it would be interesting to find out history of that theme. Fine. This just imagine and discuss with your friend. Also, just recall who was considered as a foreigner in the past, as we have seen in the first lecture. Go through the options and state whether true or false. Like, we do not find inscriptions for the period after 700. You are going to tell me the answer. The Marathas asserted their political importance during this period. Then next one, forest dwellers were sometimes pushed out of their lands with the spread of agricultural settlements. Next one, Sultan Ghiyasuddin Balban controlled Assam, Manipur and Kashmir. You can go through these things and find out the answers for the homework. Also, you have to write the fill in the blanks from the lesson. Archives are places where dash are kept. Archives are the places where dash are kept. Next one, dash was a 14th century chronicler. Next one, dash, dash and dash were some of the new crops introduced into subcontinent during this period. So, these objectives you are going to do, that is, first question you are going to go through what is foreigner in the past, state whether true or false and also fill in the blanks. Now, next one is list some technological changes associated with this period. So, what are the technological changes during this period we are going to discuss, or you can find out from the lesson. Let us recall, children, once again. In this lecture we have studied historians and their resources, new social and political groups, how the meanings of the terms changed as the years passed. Throughout this period there were gradual clearing of forests and the extension of the agricultural, and the changes faster, more complete in some areas. How the habitat forced them forest dwellers to migrate from there, and they started tilling the land and became peasants. Why we can say that why they were differentiated on the backgrounds and their occupations. Ranks were not fixed permanently. Then we have seen regions and empires, large states like Cholas, like Tughlaqs and Mughals, how there were Sanskrit Prashastis and how they were praising the rulers and writing the things. Also we have seen that Amir Khusrau's languages and how he did not find that languages like Sanskrit, it was not spoken anywhere, only the Brahmanas knew this language. So how there was dominancy of Brahmanas over the society. Then we have seen old and new religions, how the new religions were formed, on what basis, how there were different gods, goddess or deities, and also how there were two different things in Muslims also, like two Shia Muslims, and again we have found that Prophet Muhammad, his son-in-law, he was the legitimate leader of this community, Muslim community, and second one is Sunni Muslims who accepted the authority of the early leaders, that is Khalifas of the community. So these were the other important differences between various schools of laws, and in this theology and the mystics traditions. Also we have seen that thinking about time and period and historical periods, what does it mean? Like how the time or the hours and days together, they did not mean the same for the historians. In how the Britishers historians divided into three parts, that is Hindu, Muslim and British, but many of the historians they did not accept these only periods, because in the economy or in the society the other culture was also there. Such a division also ignored the rich and diversity in the subcontinent. Few historians also followed this periodization. Today most of them look at to economic and social factors of the past or different movements of the past. The histories you read last year included a variety or wide range of early societies. We have seen that hunters, gatherers, early farmers, people living in towns and villages, and early empires, and often described about the medieval period. So the development of Hinduism and Islam were the major religions, and the arrival or the European trading companies. Like this, Islam, how Islam came to India, the teachings of Holy Quran was brought in India in 7th century by the migrants and the merchants. We have seen Quran, the holy book of Islam, was the idea of one God, that is Allah, and His love, mercy for those who believe in Him. Many rulers were patrons of Islam, that is ulama, like how we called, I have explained you what are the pandits for this one. Hindus is the ulama, for Muslims or Islams we can say that. So Islam got divided into two sections, that is Shias and Sunnis. Shia Muslims believed that Prophet Muhammad, son-in-law Ali, was the legitimate leader of Muslim community. Sunni Muslim accepted the authority of early leaders of community and the succeeding caliphs. There were other important differences between two schools of laws, that is Hanafi and Shafis, and in theology and the midst of traditions in the of the Islam. So whatever homework I have given you, that is question number 1 was about the word foreigner in the past. Again I have read out the true or false, then go through the fill in the blanks on the revision or the given question answers part, find out the fill in the blanks, also true or false which I have read out, and go through the text fully and find out the answer, try to find out the answers for the simple single line answers, children. And let me tell you, so this was the first chapter we have completed here. So in this we have seen many changes of the 1000 years, whatever things were there, we have found the changes in this. If any difficulty you have, we will sort out in our online lectures. Thank you.